Welcome to Block 2, during which we will go into more detail about how to design an evaluation. There will be several practical exercises designed to consolidate the ideas discussed and to give you practical tools with which to start your own evaluation. One of the practicals involves an evaluation proforma, which is a template planning document. You will have been given a link to your own personal proforma via Google Docs and will be prompted to fill out particular sections as we go through the course. There are 7 phases of an evaluation, starting with initiation and moving through formulation and proposal of the design, reviewing existing knowledge in the area, finalising details and design, data collection, data analysis and reporting, and finally judging value and deciding action. This course will not focus on how or why an evaluation is initiated, taking it as read that as you've come on the course you've understood a perceived need to evaluate a programme. Instead, this block will focus on formulation and proposal of an evaluation strategy. Data collection and analysis will be discussed in blocks 3 to 6, and throughout the course we will be thinking about the final phase, judging value and deciding action, which will also be the focus of block 7. In brief, when initiating an evaluation of an intervention, it's important that all involved are agreed on what it is the intervention itself is designed to achieve, and whether this is a plausible expectation given budget, staff and timescales. Similarly, there's no point evaluating something if it's very unlikely that the findings will be used to influence decisions. If the likely impacts are too small to warrant the resources taken up by the evaluation, or if the evaluation will not add anything beyond what you already know. Or finally, if there really are insufficient resources with which to carry out the evaluation. Having decided that the evaluation is important, will add valuable knowledge, is feasible and has the potential to influence decision making, it's time to move to the next phase, formulation and proposal. Before actually designing how the evaluation will be run and what type of evaluation you will use, you'll need to be able to answer these questions. If you can successfully answer these questions, not only will you have a good chance of designing an evaluation that is useful and appropriate, you will also have a good basis on which to successfully disseminate your findings. Thinking these questions through carefully will increase the chances that your evaluation efforts will have impact. Firstly, why are you evaluating? What's the purpose of carrying out an evaluation? Think back to the introduction. Is it to help inform decisions about how to improve the service, whether to continue running a particular programme, to inform patient choice, or some other reason? You should also be clear on which decisions and activities should be informed as a result of the evaluation. Next, who is the evaluation for? Who are the key recipients of evaluation findings? Are they service users, commissioners, healthcare managers or staff, or someone else? This is a very important point that we'll come back to at the end of this topic and again in Block 7. What are the questions it will address? What information do you and/or key recipients need to know in order to impact decision making? Topic 3 of this block will go through how to specify evaluation questions to meet its purpose. How much resources are available to carry out the evaluation? Consider manpower, budget, expertise, materials, premises and so on. And lastly, linked to this is when do you need the results by? Topic 2 of this block will cover issues such as resources and time planning in more detail. Identifying who the evaluation is for will not only inform what questions are asked and what approach is used, it will also help to maximise the impact of the findings. At the scoping phase, it's crucial that we keep in mind that the purpose of evaluation is to enable people to make more informed choices than they would otherwise be able to do. This doesn't have to equal change, it can be that maintaining the status quo is the most suitable way forward. We therefore need to be clear on who it is that will be using the findings. Whose decisions do we need to bear in mind as we design our evaluation? Think about how each type of user will use the findings and what information they need. When thinking through these questions, it's useful to think about it in terms of primary and secondary users. Primary users are the people the evaluation is directly intended for, the key decision makers that will influence whether or not your findings influence practice. Secondary users are those who might also make use of the findings, for example by changing their practice as a result, but who may not themselves be the key decision makers in relation to the purpose of the evaluation. This might, for example, be healthcare professionals providing a particular service or implementing a change in activity as a result of decisions made higher up. It's useful to think about who different possible user groups are to ensure that your evaluation answers their questions and thus maximises its usefulness. There's no point designing something which considers issues of importance only to secondary users, as it will not be able to influence decision making about the intervention which is under study. And on the other hand, an evaluation which does not consider the secondary users is not making maximal use of the resources used in carrying out the evaluation work, and is unlikely to consider the day-to-day context in which changes occur. This is important since secondary users are often those involved in the implementation of the activity actually being evaluated. Considering their views in deciding the evaluation is therefore likely to be key. So that we can share some examples of what other people on the course are thinking of evaluating, and the range of different reasons for evaluation, please share a brief description of who you are evaluating for, which stakeholder group or user perspectives are important, and what other influences on decision making there might be. There is a link to the discussion in the next block. Then, using this information, complete section A of the Proforma Google document.